Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Satellite Image Deep Learning podcast series. Today, I catch up with Zhuang-Fang NaNa Yi to chat about her career path. NaNa Yi is a senior machine learning engineer at Regrow Ag. Her day-to-day work involves building R&D and machine learning models to scale and generate accurate machine learning-derived data layers for sustainable and regenerative agriculture at Regrow. Formerly, she was a machine learning engineer and GeoAI team lead at Development Seed, and a research scientist at World Agroforestry Centre. She has a Ph.D. in Ecology from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and a BS in Geography from Sun Yat-Sen University. Outside of work, she is an artist, and you can often find her at work at local art galleries, art shows, and art centres in the DC area. I give you Nana. Hi, Nana. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks. Really excited to have you on the show today. How would you tell us about yourself?
I am a senior machine learning engineer at Regrow Ag. I had a background in geography as a bachelor, and then I got a PhD in ecology. And since then, I have been in open source, open source geospatial, and now it's just like more into like climate tech and agriculture machine learning.
Fantastic. That's an area where there's so much innovation happening and obviously so much potential impact as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. And what does your day-to-day job involve then?
Uh, so like as a machine learning, I don't really climb myself as a AI scientist or machine learning scientist, but because I have a PhD in ecology and at day to day, like I do a lot of R&D, like if we move to a different geography, like what data available and what is the science question, help to answer the data products we provided to our product team at Regrow, right? Like essentially, like our team is the team like produce data products for a different company-wise products. So we are more kind of like support a brain, I would say like a brain or science hub for Regrow products. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool. Like I got to do like a lot of R&D aspect of work, and got to like build pipeline and also like moving those machine learning pipeline to production. So it's sort of like a full life cycle, like whoever like as a machine learning engineer can dream of. So
Fantastic.
I think I
No,
definitely
that's
a
the
dream job.
name. Definitely like full stack ML engineer. I think that would cover it. And it sounds
Deep
quite,
learning.
yeah, it sounds quite like almost academic parts of the work in terms of the R&D. I'm curious how you would like, is there a different approach from academia to R&D in industry?
I don't need to write paper. That's definitely
Right.
a big part of it. Like in academia that you have a peer review, but in our workspace, like our peer review is our like downstream customer quote unquote, because like our like products team, company-wise products team are our internal product product user and a data product user, and then outside external, like it's market feedback to Regrow. So yeah, I would say don't need to publish paper is just like allow me to do a lot of like engineering side and R&D side of work.
Yeah.
It's more quicker feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a similar experience I had. That the feedback cycle happens much more quickly in industry where you're talking with end clients straight away. And
Yeah, and even just like like how do you talk about accuracy, like as academic like publication, or like on the product side, what is essentially like customer like care about, right? Like that is like different concept. So yeah, it's quite interesting so far.
yeah, as you mentioned, there's like two almost different audiences there. There's like the academic audience who you can probably go into great details, and then consumer audience who need a different kind of understanding of how the solution addresses their problem.
Yeah, totally.
And in the team, is it yourself, or do you have other researchers as well? Like, just to get a sense of the dynamic that you work in.
We are a pretty big team. We are like data science team, and under data science team, we have a geospatial engineering team, and then we call it Optis team. Basically, just like essential science team to working on grazing grassland, tillage, green cover, and myself is supporting like field boundary delineation and crop type mapping, like using transformer model. And then I'm doing also like a lot of R&D, like for example, those like centrated animal operation, like how people raise cow or like, like pig, and how that would impact environmental, like water pollution, for example, something like that. So yeah, it's a big team. I would say like about 15 or 20 people in the engineering and science team.
It's a really good sized team, yeah. And do all the people working in the R&D, do they have an academic background as well, or is there a bit of a variety of backgrounds there?
A lot of people have a PhD.
Right.
They are very knowledgeable. It's in general. It's just like very good to talk to people in general. Like all the technical lead have a PhD in the direction like we're working on, and also like even that like our manager, they all have PhD. So
right. Anybody have two PhDs?
What?
Anybody have two PhDs?
Oh no,
that's the next level.
Not that, I'm not sure, but everybody almost,
Fantastic. So, I mean, if somebody wanted to get into this career path, what sort of advice would you give them, do you think, if they were still at university?
I think for me was really helpful is self-taught, that I don't have like background in machine learning, right? Like it's just like people are so kind, like in open source community now, right? Like yourself, like just putting out the GitHub repo, like pointed people to data sets, and like like how to start a new projects, and there's always just like tutorial about everything. It's just like matter of like set your mindset straight, like what actually like you feel excited about, and what direction you want to contribute to, and start from there, and just like reach out to people on Twitter, and or just like people in general. It's very responsive. When I come to US like 10 years ago, I got PhD in China, Chinese Academy of Sciences. I come to US, and it's just like as a person, like got a PhD outside of US, like has no idea of like what is academic world, or engineering world like in US. And I just like like 2 years like I work remotely in China and have no timeline with my colleague, and it just like also like it was time for me to just sit down and actually like ask myself a lot of questions, like what do I actually passionate about and care about. Like one, I definitely care about conservation, sustainability, and also like I just have a background in agriculture, so those three combined, and in like 5 years, 10 years, like how I get into this space and with which direction I should set my foot. Like as early on, I was really clear that I don't want to publish paper on environmental science, and it's just like all doom about like like our society or our environment. It just like can't be safe. That's like people don't want to read about it. Like we need action, and we need like tool to lead people to make a better decision, and we need to work with community actually like close to solve the problem themselves. So at the early on, it's really clear to me like that is the direction I want to get into. And open source, it just happened to be like embrace and also like very open-minded people, and like they just don't mind you to ask question and be stubborn at the beginning. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like
how.
we should call it the University of Open Source. Like it should be. You've
Yeah.
graduated once you've contributed and got involved, and it does open your eyes to different ways of working and more direct like impact potentially on what's actually
Yeah.
happening that you care about. In terms of your particular role, did you find that through your social sort of network, or was that more of a traditional kind of job hunt, or how did that come about?
It is through so when I come to US, like I definitely don't have any access to academia at all. And I'm applying for probably like 20 postdoc, like never get anywhere, you know. Um, and then I have some sort of like data science boost camps. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, like I probably should applying for those kind of like boost camp. And yeah, and is get into it. And development C was just like kind enough and take me in as a machine learning engineer. And I basically like stumbled my way to open source and machine learning, and just like quickly integrate with team and study as fast as the team needed. And end up like leading the GeoAI or machine learning aspect of work. But yeah, people are just like in general like pretty kind to me.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people that contributed to open source and got really involved and eventually got hired either by the company that was maintaining that or by other sort of contributors on there. So it's definitely a really interesting opportunity
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Like yourself, like I love writing a blog like at the beginning of my career. And I think like that was like a good showcase. Like, okay,
Mm,
this is my work example. Like I know like I am a super beginner, but I have like mindset of like solving problem. And this is my code example. And that was really helpful.
yeah,
Definitely. I encourage people to do so if they want to get into a certain field. It's just like a simple tutorial, like you can grab data from Kaggle. And then, there's a lot of direction to go and write something as simple or as complicated as you can. Yeah, that's really
yeah.
helpful.
I totally agree. Like, get started. Don't think it needs to be a nature paper. Get some ideas down and see what the impact is, and get connected. That's a really nice
Yeah.
message. Fantastic. And on that point, where's the place that you're most active? Where should people go to follow your updates?
I think I try to be active on Twitter and LinkedIn, but yeah, I haven't posted for a while. But yeah, you definitely can reach me through Twitter and LinkedIn.
Fantastic. I'll drop the links in the show notes below. But thanks so much for catching up today. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to talk again soon.